Howdy y'all, it's Desktop Dave, and welcome to Lesson 3 of Microsoft Excel, Formatting Cells. In this video we have information about an upcoming 5K, and this information was just dumped here. It wasn't formatted whatsoever. So let's clean this up a little bit. I'm going to go down to the bottom right hand corner, and usually our zoom's at 100%, but I'm going to use the plus arrow to get us up to about 150 so we can see these cells a little bit better. Now, as we remember from the first video, we can double click between columns to auto fit them, but we can also select a range of columns, go between them, double click, and then all of those columns are auto fitted. I'm going to highlight just our titles right here because we want to have different formatting for the titles, and I think that a different font would look pretty good for these titles. As I go down the list of fonts, you can see on the worksheet behind the list of fonts, it changes when I highlight over a font, and we're going to select Arial Black. Now, that's a little too big for the columns, so let's go right here under the font group in the home ribbon. We're going to take that down to a 10. That's still too big, so let's auto fit these columns once again, and I'm going to highlight the titles once again because I think we could use a different font color, which is the A with the colored bar underneath it. We have these regular colors right here, and we can always go to more colors. I think this red color would look very good for a font color. A background color often looks good for titles, so let's go right here, and perhaps a light blue would look good. Maybe a little bit darker, and I can tell exactly what color I'm getting because of that preview feature that Excel allows for. Now, if we look at column A right here, we have our date. But what I don't like about this is it doesn't show the year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control, Shift, and my down arrow to highlight all of the data in column A. You see in our formula bar, the year is there, but how it's displayed, there's no year. That means we need it to be formatted. I'm going to go to the number group, and I'm going to go right here to the number format. I think a short date would look pretty good for that number format, and then it would correspond very closely to what we have in the formula bar. Notice how the date column A, widened a little bit when I selected that. Excel is going to automatically widen the column if it's only a little bit. I think that looks much better for the date, so now we're going to go to column B for donations. To select it, I'm going to do the same thing. Control, Shift, and down arrow. Now, donations are money, so we need this to have a $sign. Every number needs to be out to do 2 decimals, and we want this to look like it's a dollar amount. So we're going to go back up to the number group, the number format, and we're going to choose accounting. Now, I want to point out that we don't have to put in a $sign, or for numbers over 1,000, we don't have to put in a comma, because when we format it, it's going to do that automatically. The difference between accounting and currency is simply the placement of the $sign. You see, accounting has the $sign at the far left, currency has it right next to it. Personally, I like currency a little bit better. I think the first and last names look very good formatted as they are. We're going to go here to phone number. And you notice before we zoomed in, it had almost an exponential looking number in there because it couldn't fit the entire phone number. Here it looks a little bit better than what we had when we first started this video, but it still doesn't look like a real phone number. So what I'm going to do is Control, Shift, down arrow again, and this time instead of going to number and number format, I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to Format Cells. This is just another way of doing essentially everything that we were doing through the home ribbon. Because so many people format their cells in so many different ways, and it's such an integral part of Microsoft Excel, they have a number of ways of doing it. Whether it's through the home ribbon like we were doing, or now I'm going to right click and go to Format Cells. We're going to go to the Special tab right here, and under the Special tab I'm going to click Phone Number. I'm going to hit OK, and now these actually look like phone numbers. The last thing I want to do is I'm going to highlight this entire range of data. Control Shift right, Control Shift down. And I'm going to go up here under the font group, and we're going to have all borders. You notice that then that put a black line between all of the cells in that range of data, which looks much better. The last thing I want to do is, I think the titles need another border underneath it. So we're going to go with a double bottom border. And you can see once I click out of that, that sets the titles apart just a little bit more. Thank you, God bless, and always find new ways to excel in life.